Hello YouTube, welcome back to my brand new channel, Transform, not Conform Ministries. My name is Joshua Smith. The purpose of this channel is to basically help young people to transform their lives to be more like Christ's instead of conforming them to be like the world's. Today's video is about what is our identity as a Christian. I think it's a topic that gets overlooked quite a lot, and to me it's a very important topic because when we know our identity, we know how we should act and how we shouldn't act and what our rights are. And if we don't know it, then it's basically we don't know how to act, we don't know who we are, we don't know what our rights are. So let's get started. When I was about 6 years old, I gave my life to Christ and I did my best to copy what I saw all the other Christians doing, which was going to church, reading the Bible, praying, being good. And I thought those things made me into a Christian. That was my identity as a Christian, doing these things. And I tried my very best to do these things. But the trouble is, I was not good at doing them. Like, I tried to enjoy going to church, but I only went there to have a bit of fun with my friends and get free food once every 3 weeks and fall asleep in the services. And I tried my best to enjoy reading the Bible because I saw all these other Christians reading it all day and telling us about what they read in it and stuff. And all right, I've got to read this too because that's what they're doing. But it was so boring. I could not read more than one page at a time, and it's like, this is so boring. Why do I have to read it? I thought, right, I've got to read it, otherwise I won't be a good Christian. So I tried my best to read it, but no, it was just not for me. I just could not stand reading it. It's like the most boring thing I could think of doing. And then praying, I heard all these other Christians pray these amazing prayers in church, and it was like, wow, they're like Christian superstars. I wish I could be like them. And I tried to enjoy praying. I tried to do these amazing prayers. It's like, I really don't think God is listening. I never felt I got any replies to any of my prayers, and I thought, right, this is just so lifeless and just so boring. So I just virtually never prayed because I thought God must be mad at me anyway if he was listening, because I was such a bad Christian in my opinion. And basically these things continued up until about a couple of years ago, where my life just came to a point where I said, right, God, I just cannot stand this anymore. Literally, like, I cannot live my life like this. I just felt so guilty every day. Right, I just thought, right, God, if you are there, if you are listening, I just cannot live my life like this anymore. If you want me, you can have all of me. Do whatever you want with me. I do not care what you want to do. I'll just do it. I'm just fed up of living my life like this. And I just did not know what I'd do if he didn't accept the offer, and I really didn't think he was listening. And I thought if he was listening, he wouldn't want me anyway because I was such a failure in my opinion. And well, God was listening, and he did take that seriously, and he has for the last couple of years been changing my life pretty much every single day, and it's been a totally incredible journey for me. I can't wait to share some of those experiences with you guys, so stay tuned for future videos. Right, so today we're talking about what is our identity as a Christian. So I thought my identity as a Christian was doing these particular actions of going to church, praying, reading the Bible, being good. I thought those things made me into a Christian, but the trouble is, they didn't. And it was a mistake I'd lived with for about 10 years. Until a couple of years ago I realised, and I read a verse in Romans 10, verse 9, which says, if you openly declare that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. So basically, if you openly declare that you believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and he came to this earth and he died for you and he rose again, you are a Christian. Congratulations. You are saved. You're going to go to heaven. But you might think, right, is that all I need to do then? Let's do it now. But the thing is, being a Christian is being a follower of Christ. It is believing he is who he says he is, and then it's following what he says we should do. But you can't have it the other way around. You can't do what he says to do and then that sort of makes you into a Christian. You have to be a Christian first, and then these things are byproducts of that. And I had it all the other way around, so I kept trying to do these things and then trying to make myself into a better Christian, but really just be a Christian, and then these things are just byproducts of being that. So you might be thinking, right then, so if I do believe these things, where do I start? Do I start just going to church and reading my Bible all the time and praying all the time and trying to be nice all the time? Well, you could do that, but you might waste a lot of energy by doing those things. Obviously, like, you might want to go to church because you want to spend time with like-minded people who believe the same thing as you and can encourage you, and you can encourage them and have fellowship. And you might want to read the Bible because why wouldn't you want to hear what God has to say to you and be able to understand what His will for your life is. And you might want to pray, because what fun is a relationship where you're just listening to what God is telling you and not being able to say anything back. Obviously God wants to hear what you have to say, so you'd want to pray. And in my opinion, the best place to start, and I wish I found this a lot sooner in my Christian walk, is Matthew 22 verse 37, where Jesus is talking to some Pharisees that asked Him, what is the greatest command in the Bible, or the greatest command that God has ever given us? And He says, you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. Then the second is equally important. Love your neighbour as yourself. The entire law and all the demands of the prophets are based on these two commandments. So that basically means that literally the most important thing you could do in the whole wide world is to focus all your attention on loving God with everything that you have. Not about trying your best to be nice to people and trying your best to go to church and listen to the services, trying your best to pray and say these best, good, amazing prayers. That's basically what I was doing when I was younger. I tried my best to do all these things. But what I should have been doing, and what I do now, is to basically focus all my energy on getting to know God more and loving Him and giving Him all my soul, all my mind, everything that I am. It's a long process. You can't just jump in at the deep end and trust Him with everything. You have to start somewhere. When I first started, I trusted God with my salvation, but I hadn't quite learned how to trust Him with all the other parts of my life, and it's something that I don't think any of us have ever completely fully learned how to do. But it's a process. We learn how to love God with all our soul, all our heart, all our mind. I think Jesus Christ was the only person in the whole world who's ever so far loved God with all his heart, all his soul and all his mind. It's a process that we have to start doing, and I don't think it's a journey that we ever finish. But in a later video I'll talk about what does it really mean to love God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. I'll get back to that in a later video, so stay tuned. So let's recap what we just learned. Being a Christian is not about doing these particular things, which is going to church, reading the Bible, praying, being good. Those things don't make you a Christian in any way. Being a Christian is just about believing Jesus Christ is who He says He is and following what He says we should do. And in later videos I'll hopefully be expanding on those things. Let's recap what we just learned. Being a Christian is not about doing these particular actions of going to church, reading the Bible, praying, being good. Those things do not make you a Christian. Being a Christian is literally believing Jesus Christ is who He says He is and following what He says we should do. Then we are Christians, and then just remember the most important thing after that is to obey the number one commandment, which is love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength. And that is basically all you need to know. And the best way to learn about God is obviously to read the Bible, so that is something I highly recommend doing. But just remember that reading the Bible does not make you into a better Christian, it just helps you to understand God better, which then does make you into a better Christian. So if you forget pretty much everything else I've just said today, just remember this one thing, that loving God is the most important thing you could possibly do. So don't worry about trying to impress God by going to church every week and reading the Bible all the time, praying all the time. Literally focus all your energy on just trying to fall in love with God, and then reading the Bible becomes second nature, and going to church just becomes something that you want to do because you want to find out more about God and have fellowship with other people. But just remember those things do not make you into a Christian, and your identity in a Christian is basically believing in Jesus Christ. That is what a Christian is, and following Him. Okay, stay tuned for more videos. Please like, comment and subscribe, and give me some suggestions of things you'd like me to talk about. And stay tuned for more videos. Goodbye.